Keep it high, keep it tight. It's Jay Morse, the review guy, back to bring you another 5-minute review. In this video, we will be reviewing the album Sempiternal by the British rock band and metal band, metalcore band, post-hardcore band, whatever you want to call them, Bring Me the Horizon. So, if you want to participate in the shoutouts, just leave a like on the video, be subscribed, and leave a nice comment down below. All of the channels that commented in the last video will be in the description, so go check their channels out. I'm sure they'd much appreciate it, and if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel. So, it's hard to think of a band that's been as polarizing as Bring Me the Horizon. They have had a just tumultuous career of a polarization of just going from pure hatred and people on one side who believe that they should not be called metal, that they are not a very good band, to people saying that they're the best band, they're the best metalcore band, they helped pioneer the genre, they were a deathcore pioneer, they were everything, they were this and that. Sempiternal was the kind of divide, I should say, that really spiraled the band into a new era. And the thing about Sempiternal is, before Sempiternal, they were just pure metalcore, they were pure deathcore, and on Sempiternal, they recruited the keyboardist and songwriter Jordan Fish. And this, in turn, made their music turn a bit more, a lot more anthemy, and a lot more just theatrical. And I feel like Jordan Fish made an improvement, because as you hear the keyboards on songs, you really understand where his input came in, and the fact that he really did put a lot of input towards this band, for the better, I'd say. And the songwriting and the song sound on this album is absolutely diverse. It is huge. It is gigantic. And it really showcases that this band is full of competent musicians, and that they're not as necessarily simplistic or as generic as a lot of people might have thought in the past. Bring Me the Horizon is a band that a lot of people thought played very generic sounding music. They were full of breakdowns and just chugging riffs and screaming and screamo. But on Sempiternal, I feel like it put all of those kind of like assumptions to rest and really showcased that they're able to craft an album that really has a lot of diversity, that has a lot of just a lot of spirit to it, and a lot of power to it. And while there is definitely, it's not as heavy as an album like Suicide Season, or Counter Blessings, or This Is What the Edge of Your Seat Was Made For, or even There's a Hell, I feel like Sempiternal, Ollie's vocals, Oliver Sykes, the lead vocalist for the band, I feel like his vocals have a lot more rigid power behind them than any previous album, and I think that it's really showcased well, and I think this album is written to his strong suit. And I don't think that there is any denying that he's a capable musician, he's a capable songwriter. And I know that this album was written when he was he was coming out of a slump of ketamine addiction, and if you ever watch his acceptance speech for Album of the Year, he really opens up about it. And this album is full of just angst and depression and sadness and sorrow and anger and just everything that, everything you could want from a metal album, everything you could want from an alternative album. And for better or for worse, this is metalcore, but it's not necessarily the type of metalcore that they used to play. It's more closer to the hardcore tag. And I think that it's a very, very interesting concept. It's a concept that definitely deserves a lot of credit behind it, and I think that if it wasn't for the fact that Ollie was in a bad place, this album might not sound the same, and I know that's going to sound bad, but it's in bad places where great music comes from and great art comes from. And Sempiternal definitely is a turning point for the band, and that's the spirit, which I did a review for. Go check that out. That's not too far back on my channel at all. It started the Diverge from their roots to what they were going to become. And in turn, it turned them into a band that was a lot of people say sell out. A lot of people call them mainstream. They're not necessarily mainstream, although they do say they're going pop on their next album, which is kind of crazy to think of. But either way, I'm curious to see where they go from here. And Sempiternal is a 8.5 out of 10 for me. It is a great album. The songs are great. Just the writing is superb. The guitar playing is superb. The drums are superb. The electronics and keyboards that they added. A lot of people call this album electronicore. It's not really electronicore. Electronicore is kind of like more like I See Stars' like first albums in their discography, up to Treehouse. But we're splitting hairs. We're splitting some fine ass hairs at this point. So, anyways, if you like the video, give a like, comment, subscribe. I will give you a shout out. Go check the description. Check all these channels out, and I'll see you next time. But until then, keep it high, keep it tight. This is Jay Morris, the review guy, signing off saying farewell.